there are a couple awesome updates. Troy, since you're on the subject, I think ultimately introducing this ad, and I have a couple pulled up, um, and talking about why someone should try it and test it out in this market versus, and then kind of the future of the hybrid essentially might be something we can consider as well. But I'll let you kind of lead with this, or anybody else who, and I could pull up an example, but I know some of you are getting phenomenal results with this style added, and I'll show you if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about. We're talking about sellers, and particularly talking about this guy right here. So if you are using this ad right now, Leon, I know you are, and anybody using this ad, it's brand new, it's just been released, it's getting some phenomenal results because guess what? It's a lead ad. And a lead ad is going to capture all that information up front. So, Troy, take it away. I want to let you talk about this for a second.
Well, first, I'm just going to say, Leon, you're going to want to address that comment on there. Anytime you have a negative comment, and this is something for everybody, if you've had an ad that's been performing very well for a very long time, then all of a sudden there's a downturn, go and look at your comments. Very frequently, there's something like this that I would say this one's borderline. A comment like this isn't that, I wouldn't say uncommon. It's more of it's something that a lot of people might be thinking and they might not want to put it in there. So it's a good opportunity to either delete it, remove the comment and get out of there. Or if you can craft a really nice retort to that, then anybody else who comes and sees that will also see a response to it. And that's what I would suggest for sure.
Yes. Okay. So, well, Logan, you kind of were the engineer behind this ad. Why don't you tell us what you've seen so far in terms of how many people have been running this ad and what your experience has been from the contrast, let's just say, of like an Orange County ad that typically gives you $15 to $20 emails to using an ad like Leon's here.
I'd say from my experience with this so far is it's leveled the playing field considerably. There seems to be a very consistent result across the board everywhere, and we could typically attribute a slightly higher lead cost to a location. Whereas now it does seem that it doesn't matter if you're in Tacoma, Washington, or if you're in Orange County, or if you're in anywhere, here in Canada, of course, we're seeing very, very, very similar results. And, Jeff's saying $12 a phone number in Orange County. And I know that's up from where it had been sitting at around 5 or 6 for quite some time. So far, the results that we're seeing are great. And the responses that people are getting are really good. So it's just one of those things that, first and foremost, we really need more people coming consistently to the custom ad classes, testing and setting these up. Understand what we're going to help you do is as always a series of short tests, right? It's a series of short sprints. We're going to find what works, and once we find as a group what works, it then gets templated for everybody. And the more people we have joining into those sessions, the more people we have testing these new ads, the quicker and easier we can start coming up with all these different angles that work, that prove. Because if I have one person willing to test something, well, that's, one ad, that's 3 ads that we can play with. Well, if we have 10 people each doing 3 ads, that's 30 ads that we can run in for one day. So that shortens the testing period for everybody, right? If 1 or 2 people come and have to keep, doling out money to test, again, right, we're not getting to those end results as quick as we'd really like to see. So now what we're seeing is more and more people are jumping on this, and we're already able to template our first one that's clearly starting to work. And we've got a couple more coming down the pipeline that are incredibly exciting. And it's just really, it's fun to see. It's fun to start doing all these different things. So if anybody has any ideas that they'd like to see, certainly throw it, towards myself or to Maddie or to your coach, and we can start building things in that same light. But again, we've got a whole spectrum of new ads that are coming out. And it's just important that we keep getting the commitment from you guys to come and test these so that we can prove that they work and template them and make them better for everybody.
Awesome. And cool. A little bit, Logan, about the hybrid. Essentially, there is the lead ad component. So for anybody that's wondering what a lead ad is they click on this ad, it auto-populates their name, auto-populates their email, auto-populates their phone number. So they didn't even have to fill that in. That's already in there based on their Facebook personal settings, and basically clicking next. And it's sending them that particular list in their email. But what I've noticed is that a couple people have a redirect link as well that'll take them to the home value funnel so they can also get their address. Is that correct?
Everyone is like, show us the ad, show us the ad.
Here,
like,
Marcus, I'll do
context.
it here.
You got it?
Here, Marcus. Yeah, if you just let me share the screen here, I've got it loaded up.
And you have the way, so it's pre-populated as well, or you show, because I've exhausted my options, so it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I've exhausted mine as well, but everybody will get the point. Okay, so this is available to everybody, right? I know a couple of people are asking, they're like, can you add it in my account? Everybody's got this. You're just gonna have to go find it. It's more towards the bottom here because it is brand new, so it's gonna take a little bit for it to percolate to the top here. Basically, it's this one right here. It says seller tips ad. And this is super simple. You come in here, you hit select, and you can put in a city name here if you want to. You don't have to. It still works. Learn our top tips for anyone thinking about selling their home. If you put in Vancouver, it'd be Vancouver home. And imagery is already there. You can put in your own privacy policy, or if you don't have one, you can use the StreetText one. It's populated in there right away. And you just come in here and you can either drop your pin or set your targeted location. So super, super simple. You don't have to go through and align imagery and all of that. It's already been done for you. You hit next, and the same old thing, do your split test as we've always said, right? 3 ad split test, because even with this one, remember, each ad is going to get a slightly different audience from each other, and you do want to do that test. So that ad will get launched, and it will look like this, which Marcus already had. Oops, I'm going to go back a step here. And so this is what it'll look like. And they're just going to click on it, and it's a lead ad. So they're just going to put in their email, name, and phone number. This will actually auto-populate with their info from Facebook. So that's actually a really great thing. It makes it really easy because that will be right there. They hit next and away they go. Now, just a caveat, sometimes people haven't updated their info on Facebook for some time. So sometimes that email or that phone number might not be accurate. That's just kind of the nuance of doing a lead ad. They're going to hit next, and then they're going to be taken to where they can go download that document, which is right here. So they'll be taken to this page where they can download that list. And I'm just waiting for my tool thing to go away. They're going to get this PDF. So 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. And you guys can use this PDF wherever you like. You can use it in other materials that you want. It's completely open for you guys. Maddie's done a really nice job of putting this together. And if you do have any suggestions, please fire it our way. We're trying to make these better and better all the time. But the great thing about this is that they have now received, they're immediately taken to the offer that you've given them, right? So they see this ad offering the top tips for anyone wanting to sell their home. They click on that, they leave their info, they immediately get that PDF with that offer that you've done. They're gonna get an email. Let's just see if I have it loaded up here. They're gonna get this email, automated email right away. Also with the download for that, we're gonna be talking about Marcus. I'll let Marcus lead into this and how you wanna edit this one.
Yeah.
And make it your own and that sort of thing. So basically that's what this is. And so far it's getting really good cost per lead.
Troy, go back to the actual funnel where they build it, because my suggestion is to leave that blank instead of putting the city if you want true results. We always talk about, 15 miles is a minimum radius. So don't limit yourself here. It's going to work without you putting anything in there. So when you go to set up your ad, go back, back. Don't put anything up there, leave it blank. If anything, what happens if you put an emoji? Put an emoji, if anything, right? But I would leave it blank. Yeah, emoji or 2 is fine. 3 doesn't matter. Really, that's the only thing I would do that's different. I wouldn't don't put in the city or neighborhood. You're going to be your mistake if you're not getting the results you want, because you're limiting yourself to that 15-mile minimum radius, 25 kilometers in Canada. So that's my really clear one mistake you could make is putting in the city. Don't put in the city.
I'd put dollars, I'd put the like money bag with the houses or whatever, because you say tips for selling your house, and the idea you're planning in their mind is they're here to make the profit, the money they're going to get. I hate to say you sell to greed, but apply to the greed side.
Curtis, the email is different. So the key is you only have one email right now. It's not dripping into the 9-month long drip. It's different, right? So what you're going to want to look at is right now, I think as far as I know, Troy, there's no SMS associated to it. And the emails is something that you want to go in there. So for me, if you go back to your automations now, Troy, on that screen, and you look at that particular ad, you'll see some generic email in there. You're going to want to go and update that. And if you watch the Bomb webinar from last week, you want to update that to create empathy with value, and then have an ask. So empathy, value, and ask, and we can help you design that. Or I'm going to give you some tips on that, but it's essentially empathy is along the line of, hey, thank you so much. I'm sure you didn't know there was a real person behind this. Like empathy, they want to feel like, why is there a human being connecting here? And then value is what you're going to get with this list. And then the ask, I think, could potentially say something along the lines of, hey, to say thank you, we'd like to offer you a complimentary home value as well. All I need is the address, right? That type of thing, where you can ask for the address in that moment. I know in your ad, Leon, I think there's a redirect link to the home value. But some of those don't. And we're going to be working on the hybrid so that if they submit all their details, it automatically takes them to that home value funnel. So that'd be coming out.
Just to build on that too, Marcus, I think some neat strategies about this ad as well is, use the seller ads together. So you have one now where it's the 12 tips coming in. You got obviously the home valuation. For people that are coming in the 12 tips, I would include in your automations, I would definitely be asking them like for their address to do a home evaluation and so forth. And then for your home evaluation ads, you could be saying things like to add value. You could say, would you like my 12 tips, or whatever it may be as well. And also for your buyers, if you're running any buyer ads, we know right now in this market, about 60% of the buyers coming through have a home to sell in this market. So what you could do too is you could, if you've got a big list, mass email all of your buyer leads and just say, hey, I have this PDF I'd love to give you, let me know if you'd like it. And maybe that will help identify who some of those sellers are in your buyer leads as well. So I like all these ads can sort of work together creatively if you kind of play around with those different angles.
Yeah, so easy. You don't know until you try it. But for those of you that are wanting phone numbers really bad, this is it. Like, there's no easier way to do it. Now, essentially, like if you have any ability to create conversation with somebody, you can ask for an address easily from there, even without the lead capture. You just got to communicate why they would want to take advantage of getting their home value along with this list of properties.
I think that's key is, sorry about the compressor, but the key thing with this one is it is different than the home value ad, right? So that home value ad is the offer is the home valuation. This one is the PDF, but in your follow-up, you could be offering a home value as a service, right? It's complimentary if you want to know what your home is worth, that sort of thing. So it is going to be a slightly different follow-up. So it is something to consider.
If we're going to create our own follow-up from that, can we add in there, are we able to include a link? So when we've been testing these things, we've been adding the links to something to bring people to that page, to the valuation page, which they may not have completed. Are we able to include that link in the email as part of the follow-up?
Yeah, you absolutely could. You might not need to. The reason we had it set up that way, the way that we've been doing that with you and Jeff specifically, and everybody else who's been testing with that with us, was because we needed a redirect URL. So we've created a splash page in a sense instead of that. So once people are getting your email, I don't think that I would put the actual valuation link in there, because that creates a click, take them away, re-enter. I don't know if I'd do it that far. I would simply ask for the address in the email itself, just a straight up, if you'd like a home valuation or property valuation, I already have your contact details. So all I'm missing is your address. Email me back or text it to me here. That would be the way I would do it. It's less steps. It's a little bit cleaner for them.
Okay.
You will then have to take that address and add it manually into your contact section of your StreetText dashboard. Fair. But I think that, again, we're trying to clean up the experience of the lead, make sure that it's as easy as humanly possible for them, as low restrictions, as small a barrier as humanly possible. So that I would probably suggest we simply ask for their address there and get it as response text or email. That's how I would set it.
And then you could use Homebot with the new update that's coming to quickly fire it off. So you could update it manually and then just hit that button. So that could work.
And I think what Steve's saying there, and this is something that I'm always talking about, is value stacking, right? So stack value on top of this. You can, if you have Homebot, right, you don't necessarily, have to stop with just a home valuation. Offer all the offerings that Homebot has to offer in order for me to provide you, not only today's value, but update you on an ongoing basis as to the market activity around you. All I need is this, send me your address and I'll be happy to set you up on this instant notification alert. You can even do it such a way if you're not using Homebot. That same style works, right? Just go to MLS and set them up on a buyer's list for similar properties in their area. You can offer that same thing. All you need is their address, right?
Yeah, and what I did on mine, when Logan turned around and redid those, I left everything inside StreetText. I'm not redirecting it to my website. That way they're in the StreetText system, and I have the option of moving around and doing what I want with it from there.
And I think in this decision world that we're in, like, you just got to make, like, you sent them the 12 steps. 12 steps is sometimes overwhelming for people. So make it clear for them. Say, hey, you know what? I know taking on this like sale of a house might be confusing. First step is just let's assess value. And I can give you a guesstimate, and then we can go from there. So make your messaging really clear that you're delivering on, like, here's the next step. We sent you the 12 steps. Sometimes you just have to start with number one, and that would be getting a good assessment of your value. And I have some tools that can keep you up to date of that. And again, the same languaging. Even if you're not selling in the next year, this awesome tool will keep you up to date of current value of your home. So really driving home that next step, because that's what people need.
Just to piggyback on Leon's thought, we toyed with the idea, and we actually tried linking to our website, but found that it was just an overload of information and it wasn't being forwarded to our CRM. So it just made a lot more sense to let all the leads funnel back through StreetText and then to our CRMs as opposed to our websites.
I also tested with linking to Homebot, and that wasn't successful.
Yeah, and Nicole, though, yours was a direct link, though, right? And that's definitely something that, and we talked about this before, is something that, Maddie and I are consciously looking at. How do we set up an ad that's specific to lead to Homebot? Because this ad, it didn't really lead as well naturally to the Homebot integration, but we can certainly start building something that is, verbiage wise and ad copy wise a little bit more. Here's what you're going to get in the end, and then link to Homebot. That's definitely something that's coming down the pipeline. But for now, I would suggest just keep those offerings to the email. And again, you don't have to mention Homebot by name, but you can certainly mention the services that you're able to provide them. Simply give me this one item back, and you're going to get this whole list of items. And what I recommend to people do is go into Homebot, see what wows you. Like, go into your own service, figure out what you're able to provide these people. What would wow you? Pick your top 3. Those are the top 3 things that you're going to highlight, whether it's the Airbnb thing, the updated valuation, whatever it could possibly be. That's what you're offering. If you give me your address, I'm going to get you this, this, and this.
And the one thing I'll add with this ad, and the logic when I designed it, was thinking about the consumer mindset and the life stage that they're in their journey. This is for individuals who, they're thinking of selling. They might not be too sure. This is your first touch with them. So this is how, you can use that mix of ads and that mix of communication to potentially then capture their address down the road and any follow-up communications if need be. But this is that great kind of segue into that relationship with the buyer or seller. And this is that great way to start that, because the perception of the individuals who are looking at this ad might not know they want to sell yet. They might not potentially give their address right away, but this is that first step in that kind of consumer funnel.
Yeah, I mean, top of funnel leads, right? That's kind of what we're doing, though, is find these people before they've found somebody else, right? Bring them in, start dripping on them, start, conversing with them in different ways for different reasons. And, you know, as soon as they reach back out and ask for that home value, you know, you're getting a little bit closer. So
Yeah, and I think it's easy now. You have your custom domain to send that to them in the email if they want their home value from there. Like that, just that you can just type it even say, hey, click here to get the home value as well as a bonus. Again, if you have a video and they're communicating why and creating that opportunity to connect.
Just to quickly build on what Nicole said too, I'll just show. Oh, mind if I share my screen, Marcus? Or
yeah,
I'll share it really quick.
We just make you co-host.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and lots of people ask about Homebot. There's lots of different tools that you can use to do home evaluations. This is just one that I know a lot of people are using. It is specific for the US. But one of the integrations that we're adding in here, oh, it's going to open up. Oh, there it was. My image again here is, this is just a rendering. So it's just a demo picture. But you can see here on the right-hand side, you can see this little Homebot link. And so essentially what would happen is, let's say you generated your lead and you know, even say the 12 tips, or it could be your home value. It'll be all your contacts, all your home sale leads. You can one by one, for those that you want, you can send that lead through. We were just playing with a couple different kind of image options, depending on what you like best. But so that's essentially how it would work. So to answer your question, Nicole, what you could do is once you have the address, or depending which way it came through, you can just click that button. It'll automatically send to Homebot. So you don't have to send them somewhere else. You can just do it directly through StreetText. So hopefully that makes sense. And I know because on the last Mastermind we talked, you guys had some really good suggestions and things you want to add. And so we would have a pop-up here. You could add some additional details on. For version 1, it won't have it, but for version 2, it will.
This is Adrian. I have a technical question. When you're doing an ad, it says privacy policy URL. I'm sending them back to my website. Is that the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah, it's wherever you could use your broker's privacy policy. You could use yours if it comes with your website. Facebook just requires a privacy policy to run lead ads. So in the absence of yours, you can use ours. It would be better to use your own though. So
okay, I have it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question about those circles that give us like who's looking at the StreetText emails and looking at them more than once. I think you all have them numbered like between 4, and then there's like the 60s or 80s that are really active, and those are the ones that we should be reaching out to. Is there going to be, because I remember somebody talked about it, that we can filter those, like put the most active on top so we can attack, I don't want to say attack, but yeah, kind of. We can attack those first and then go down. Is that something that's coming down the pipeline that we're going to be able to sort by that?
Yeah, it's a very requested feature. So yes, it is coming.
Thank you.
You guys, I can't tell you how easy this lead ad is. You have to go and launch it, and everybody here should go test it right now in their market. It's going to take you all but 10 seconds to press deploy, right? So do it, and then get back to us 24 to 48 hours. Share your results in the insider group, and let us know what you're experiencing, and we'll continue to build off of that, right? We'll build it better. Logan will build it better. But yeah,
Marcus,
good start.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I was probably too busy deploying the ad. I probably missed where I get to edit that email for the 12.
So you'll just go back to settings and then to your funnel automations, and you'll see it in there.
Oh, got it.
This way, Patrice, that I find is on any ad that you want to edit the automations for, go to your ads section. I find that to be the easiest place to start. So then you can see the ad that you've already created. Click the button that says edit funnel. It'll take you directly to the email and SMS automations for that one individual particular ad. Now, know when you do the custom lead ads, let's say you're doing a 3-ad split test, they will all have their own default automations. So if you make edits to the one, on the lead ad, it doesn't necessarily take hold on the other ones unless you're editing the actual email that's called like the 12 tips email. If that's the same email that is attached to the other two ads, those edits do take hold. But if you're creating a new email on top, right, that one you'll have to go and schedule into the other two. But again, you're only going to be running 3 ads for 24 hours, right? So realistically, you can make your edits afterwards if you like, but just know that, yeah. If you have any questions on that, come to the custom ad class this next week, and I'll be going through and spending a little bit more time on the automations. I usually touch on those a little bit more, so you can kind of watch live as we go through and set all that up.
So
So
is
what-
there a way to tweak the email before I deployed it? So now I have to wait for it to be approved, obviously.
Well, you're
Is there a way
gonna,
to do that?
you go straight into your ad section and go to edit funnel. It'll take you right into that
Oh.
funnel.
Yep.
And you
Okay.
make your changes.
Okay, perfect.
Right, with whatever email that you want, that's where you go right there. Just, like if I were to go right into the first that email, it just goes
Mhm.
right into the email and you make your changes and click save.
Perfect. And then Logan, when are the custom ad classes and how do you schedule those or? sign up for
They're every Tuesday at I believe we're doing 9 in the morning. I think 9 or 10 in the morning. I can't remember now. Unfortunately, quickly go check my schedule. It's been yeah,
that?
so
And that's not Central Time.
10 a.m.
What-
Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday. So just go and check the StreetText master Calendly link and see if you can get in. If all the spots are taken, you can reach out to myself, Maddie, or your coach, obviously, and we can figure out a way to get you guys in. We want to make it possible for everybody who actually wants to show up and make this happen. We want to make sure there's space for you. So if you're not able to register for the next upcoming class, just reach out to one of us and we'll make sure that you get a link.
you guys add so much value and offer so much value. I just want to throw something out here. I told 2 other agents about StreetText and they both signed up and they both have stopped using StreetText. And it just blows my mind on why they wouldn't do that. And I've drawn the conclusion that they're not willing to do the follow-up. They didn't see like immediate results. But I think it's different. I love the whole integration. I love that you guys set up everything for us. It's super easy, little learning curve, but I just want to thank you guys for always staying like cutting edge.
Yeah, Patrice,
So-
we appreciate that. I feel like a lot of people that don't end up continuing, they're not tapping into this. They're not tapping into the community, to the masterminds, to the workshops that we offer. So they don't really know how to use the tool properly. And again, their follow-up is probably not working because they think that 1 or 2 touches should create a listing.
Yeah.
Right? So
Exactly.
that's the
Yeah.
big disconnect.
I agree with them, and I've been with StreetText since probably close to, I guess, towards the end of November, and I had been following up, and I was kind of discouraged because there was just little hints of, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but then nothing. But I'm happy to report that my first listing actually went live today, and I already have like 6 agents calling me off because they're dying to get in, and then I have 2 others that are possibles, but they're reaching out. And so it works, and I'm getting more, I don't want to say aggressive, but I'm getting more proficient in answering with the videos like Leon did. And so yesterday I did 7. And so today I'm going to be doing 5 more. So they're responding and they're looking at them. So it works. You just have to be consistent.
It absolutely does. I'm working with 2 more. During my trial, I got a listing. She sold, she moved in, she was going to move out of state. She just called me. Now she wants to buy. So how cool is that, right? But the Homebot that you guys have linked is an amazing tool. I love Julie. Julie works for me for free and she really converts. And the Homebot send out 229 videos and people watch them. I'm like amazed that they're like watching 100% of the video. And I got an email this morning. I woke up, he thanked me for sending him the Homebot app and sending evaluations, and he can't wait for the next one to come. I mean, this is like easy, like working. I don't have to do all that, right? It's just working for me behind the scenes. So I love the system.
Teresa, are you sending out the emails monthly or quarterly?
I'm sorry. I'm still new.
Are you
so
sending out the Homebot quarterly, monthly, or?
Yeah, just whatever is set up in the system. I believe it's monthly. I'm sending
I
it out
thought you
monthly.
could only send it monthly.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was too, Liza, monthly, just whatever the normal protocol is.
I'm working on getting in the next week or 2, a Homebot webinar, training webinar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we'll work on
Can I
getting
throw
that.
out an idea for feedback? See if someone tried this. So now that I'm getting such a great response and have so many people in my Homebot, I'm going to partner with the lender who partnered with me. We're going to do a video and we're going to offer a free refi class to see if we can convert. Anyone try anything like that?
And you're
You
just
think it's-
you're just targeting to the sellers though, right?
Just talking to the, because my whole goal, I'm relational. So if I can provide value and help them refi, hopefully they'll think of me as I stay in contact when they want to sell.
I personally like the idea in that you can tell that the angle you're coming from isn't necessarily like, hey, hurry up and sell. It's you have you have questions, you have other things that I can certainly help you with, and you're positioning yourself as an expert in providing other angles and other opportunities. So I think it's a good idea. The more people who refi, they might get more comfortable in that property and not want to sell. But I think that again, the idea of coming from value and service, I think that's exactly what you should be doing. And I personally like the idea.
And my thought is they might not be willing to sell it because they want to refi, but they might know someone who does. And because I added value, I might get a referral. That's the thought.
100%.
High opens, high interactions. That's part of the beauty of Homebot. It's like that alone is worth the $25 you spend a month, right? And now it's up to you to create the relationship. And I think that's when you said I'm relational, I think that's ultimately everyone's goal needs to be relational, specifically with leads they've never met before. So if you make it all about the relationship in the beginning, and this is why we're so huge on video authenticity, for that person to feel the experience is complimentary, to feel the authenticity, to feel that they can talk to you with no obligation, that you're not just trying to list their home and sell their home because it's a hot market. If you could create all your communication and to look and feel and it's truly intentional with that, you're going to get relationships started, even if they're not ready to sell today. So that's my biggest recommendation is take a step back and always revisit your ad, revisit your funnels, put yourself in your automations, continue to refine that with that experience in mind. Because that first impression goes a long way. And sometimes if your first impression isn't feeling that way and appearing that way, you're going to have a hard time backpedaling to try to create the relationship.
Marcus, I have a question. Is Homebot already integrated with StreetText, or we have to go through Jeff Moore?
You don't have to go through Jeff Moore. Steve, what's the latest on the Homebot?
Yeah, so what I was showing you there was the rendering. So and I always want to be careful putting out a date. The Homebot integration is going to be coming live very, very soon. And so it's almost there. So as soon as it's ready, we'll make a big announcement in the insider group, but it is coming very, very soon, like very soon.
Hey, I have a question. We, a couple of us, I guess, tried to do the ad at the top of the hour when we first started and did like the 3 attempts, and Facebook has already rejected my ad, and it's in the chat right now. Like it's saying that it's circumventing systems or something like that. Has anybody else had that issue?
If you run into any problems like that, just make sure you hit the review button and go through the review process. The Facebook relies heavily on their AI to just detect things, and they make an enormous amount of false positives. It's just unfortunately the reality of running ads in Facebook. So just go through, click those review buttons, and you got to sometimes go through it a couple times just so you know if you click review, it still doesn't go to a human. It goes through to another automated system. So sometimes you have to go through the review process twice to actually have a human look at it. And I was recently on one of Facebook's, like their policy team webinars, and they recognize that they have some big flaws here, and they're trying to add in an additional review process. But it's unfortunately, I mean, they have so many ads at launch, and I mean, they do a pretty good job of catching, but there's a lot of ads that would be on your feed that would not be good to see. So they have a lot of AI detecting those, but they make some bad mistakes too. It's just, unfortunately, it's just part of the system.
It almost sounds like they didn't pick up the fact that it was actually built under the special housing ad category, because that was an idea that I personally had a long time ago. Was special housing ad category came in, I wanted to start doing change of life ads. Hey, are you might be getting married, you might be whatever, things that usually get coupled with the purchase of or a sale of a home, and start floating them outside of the special housing ad category, and then bringing people back. But that I could see being seen as a circumvention for sure. So that might be what they saw. Is they who knows what they saw? But yeah, like Steve was mentioning, we've seen that where a lot of false positives, and the only thing you can do is request that review, but they'll get it straightened out.
Okay, thank you.
I launched 3 as soon as you guys talked about it, and mine are all active. So
yeah, that's yeah, if you just could go to the review side, Facebook will sort it out. And just like a quick tip, if you have to go through chat, sometimes what will happen is you go and do the automated review process, and then it still isn't approved. And And then all you do is go to the chat and just say, when you go to the chat, be like, a mistake has been made. Here's, this ad is running in the special ad category. Here's the ad. And they'll look into it and just include the ad ID. And, this happens to, I see this happen every single day. And if it goes to the chat process, Facebook is getting super fast. So just a month ago, it would take them weeks to solve a problem. Now I'm seeing it getting solved within the hour, sometimes less, sometimes within 5 minutes. So it's getting a lot better.
Yeah, I launched mine as we were talking, and they're all live. They're all active. So
Yeah, I've personally helped launch over 100 of those ones now, and that would be the first time. And we've seen it before in the past. I saw last year somebody had their ads banned for advertising alcohol to minors, and it was a very simple home valuation ad. It was not what it was flagged for, but it was rectified right away. They just request the review, go through a couple levels of bots. You'll get to a real person who goes, "Oh, sorry," you'll be fine.
So remember with this new ad too, I believe there's no SMS associated to it. So you go into your automations and add an action, and you can add a text message. So remember, blank slate now, blank slate. You want to imagine the email and the text message the way you would want if you were just requesting a list of 12 mistakes, right? So make sure that you continue to refine that process with that in mind, knowing that they're going to their email looking for this PDF, but here you are. And what's the text message going to send, right? So this is what you can kind of start creating, and we'll work together on creating that perfect ask that feels authentic, so that you can also perhaps get them a home value as well.
I'm kind of, you said that there was a place where you could just do one and then it'll do all. So I went into all automations and there's 3. And then I went into all emails and there's 3. So for the ones that I just created. So which area do you go into where you could just do one?
Easiest thing to do, Wendy, is go into the ads section, find one of those ads,
okay,
and hit edit funnel. It'll take you directly to the automation for that one. And if all you're doing is editing the already existing email, those changes will automatically reflect on the other 2 lead ads as well. If you're adding a new action, like Marcus is suggesting, like adding an SMS, you will have to manually add it to all 3 ads. But you can do it easily from that one section. Go to ads, edit funnel, go back to ads, go down the list, edit funnel. It's so much easier. You can just
so I already did all 3 because I couldn't figure it out. But so to do the text, I would need to go into all 3 automations. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Ads, edit funnel, add action, choose an SMS.
And then I'd have to do that on each one, or it goes across the board.
Yeah, Wendy, right now we do just the way the lead ads are set up, that each have their own automation. And like Logan was saying, the emails were linked, but the SMS is not. We are working on an update as well so that you can select an automation specifically for one lead ad. So we're working on that because we realize this is going to be a bit of a pain if you've got to go in and edit multiple. What I would suggest right now, ideally, is if you're doing like, say, a 3 ad split test on this ad, maybe wait 24 hours or so to see which one you're going to pick or which one's your winner. Once they, you can make a quick change to all 3 quickly, but I would ideally, if you're going to work on the automation, maybe pick your winner, and then once you got the winner, then edit the funnel and like add a few more things you want. That would be my recommendation.
Like Steve said, a video will change all your emails, so that one email you can change to the text message. But it's so easy, like copy paste. Like for example, here you are I'm in your account, Wendy, and so this is the email that's going out, right? And you can delay that a minute or 2. It's going to go out automatically. It's simple sequence. This is the seller tip ad, so this is where you're going to go and quickly throw in a video or something to say hello. In between. So remember, a little bit of empathy, value, ask, right? And they get that tip. So if you want to add in a text message real quickly, you're just going to go and add action. And then you're going to go down to a text message, and you're going to click select. And like, even if you for a second, just click say hi, add the event, then make the change. And now it's still off, right? It's off there. And there's no time delay. So you wanted to figure out if you wanted to shoot out a or if you want to actually add in a time delay, let's just say of 5 minutes, for example. And then you turn it on and you recreate your message. And then after, like I would do the same thing. I would just copy that message and go to my other two if I really wanted to make it happen. Or like you said, what Steve said, you can wait 24 hours and do that. But that's how simple it really can be for you if you wanted to go in that direction.
Okay, cool.
Right? You might be as simple as, hey, did you get the list? Just keep it.
Yeah,
keep
that would
it,
be the 5-minute delay, right? So that you can check to see if they got it, and if not, go to spam.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
I just launched that ad right now, and I guess I hadn't launched any other ads before, but I noticed that the hamster's gone and Bigfoot is here, and I like him. I just wanted to say that.
What? I don't have Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, it says Bigfoot is preparing your funnel.
You should all have Bigfoot now. It's the StreetText Yeti. Every time you launch an ad, he gets to work for you.
Well, that's funny.
I have a question. This is Cynthia. I'm new to the group. Hi.
Hi.
So we're doing this new SMS message for the leads, so they come into obviously our text, correct?
Yes, it's Julie, your AI.
Okay.
So it's already built into the seller funnel, like the one that you launched the what's your home really worth, enter your address, receive your home value, that one. That's already built in. If you were to go to edit on that one, you could see Julie set up with 5 automatic text messages. But on these new ads, there's no text message component. You have to add her in, or it doesn't have to be her. It could be you. It could be anything, right? But you have to add in a text if you want a text automatically send out.
Okay, so is it a generic text as message for everybody if I set it up properly, or would that manually do each one?
Nope, it'd be generic going out to anybody who submits their phone number.
Okay, with the phone number, obviously. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
We can work on that. I mean, it'll come down to, I'd say set it up, and then let's work backwards once we start seeing some lead flow coming in.
Yeah, I just went ahead and set it up. I have my pending on the ones that the 12 step thing, the 12 things you should do. Yeah, mine's pending right now from Facebook. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for you too, because I know you're in the SoCal area, so it'll be a good contrast test.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Is there a way to text a video, like add a video to the SMS, or no?
If you put a link, you could, but something like that you worry about because people are so worried someone's trying to send them spam. I've got a long string SMS coming of somebody that was sending me an invitation to porn site, and there's about 15 or 20. Well, see, and here's the thing. The funniest thing back in the day, if you want to know something about a website, you went to the porn sites years ago because they were doing all this wonderful things. And it's like, wow. So, when you look at stuff now, these group spams that you get at Christmas time, that you get mad because there's 20 people or 30 people, including the text, and you'll say stop and someone else will respond, and it just keeps going on and on and on. So one of the things I've been doing with this ad that Logan showed today is I go in there and there, if you have 2 of the 3, you can get the 3rd. So I've been going in and I've been updating the information. So I have their addresses and everything else, and I've just been letting it run. So over this next weekend or something like that, I'm going to go back in and I'll make sure. I actually have been adding them into Homebot as I went along. So they're getting a slow drip, and it's just a little nudge. And that's why when I had that thing today, when they showed me on Facebook, I responded to her and I left it alone because that's nothing bad. But I would just suggest, if you're running this ad, go in, update, because you got their information, update their address and all that, and then just go ahead and start a Homebot drip to them for just the values and let that run its way out. Because then your follow-up to that is you can look in your activities in Homebot every day, and if they're in there responding and doing something with it, go ahead and get that soft nudge, get the gentle nudge, but not a hard sell, because it's just a nurture at that point.
Awesome. Thank you. Marcus, I had a listing come out and I put that ad together, which I asked you about. So when I looked in it right now in the funnel, is there anything going out automatically, or do I have to set it up? It's just
click on edit funnel within that particular ad set and see what
I did, and it doesn't show like a body of an email or anything. There's 3 triggers, but nothing going out. So I don't know what.
Yeah, but for the listings, there really isn't much, just because we're not sure what you want for that specific listing. So if you do run a listing, I recommend just adding at least 1 email and 1 text message.
Okay.
And if you get quick at this, it honestly only just takes a couple of minutes. You just go add task, email, add task, text message. And I would delay the text message maybe 5 minutes or something, just so it seems more natural. And then just ask a quick question on it, and that works good.
We overthink it.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even with your video that you're asking for, like, could we throw a video? Why not wait until you ask like a binary yes or no, did you get it? Get the response. And once the response happens, now's the opportunity to introduce yourself with a video and send a bomb. We don't need to do it right off the bat. But let the email do that, right? The email could do that, but the text message component, I think it's better used to get the reply, and then you can send something more personal.
Okay, that's cool. And I have my daughter transferring everything from there manually into Homebot. But on the buyer side of Homebot, like you have to team up with a lender, which I did. On the buyer side, you just send them you have to send them an email. And I guess I don't even know what they're getting. So I got to find out what they're actually getting. And I sent a video, like they ask you if you want to send a video to all your buyers through Homebot. So I did that as well.
Well, I'll get a webinar set together for more of the educational piece around possible, all the different functionalities, and we can all kind of look to see how it could integrate better with.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I'm sending it to all my past clients and closed deals and just saying, hey, this is a great tool. Please let me know what you think about it, especially the Airbnb thing if people want to rent their house out.
Also recognize, like, I know some of you go in and personalize that Homebot. As long as you set the tone and say, hey, just like the internet, this is an algorithm. So this Homebot, I will tune this for you for the exact market value. All you have to do is go to this place, right? So for some of you are doing it manually, and that's great. But for some of you, they're like, well, no, I just want to get them on that. Really just use your communication style to let them know it's an algorithm just like online. But when they're ready, all they have to go is click on the tune your market value, and you're going to be there to tune it for them.
I talked to Homebot last week and I sent that to Marcus. So Rich and anybody else that's using Homebot to teams with the lender, if you can integrate your website to the buyer side. What I've done, I run Real Geeks, but I mean, there's other stuff. You can go in, your website integrates to the Homebot real easy. And at that point, the only thing I did is I went in, I look at where they're at, and because there's really no houses, I run a zip code search. So if they're at like 98023, but 98001 was right next to it, I added that so that they're getting something out of there, but it's also driving them to your site. So the idea is always you're trying to keep a buyer away from Zillow, Realtor.com, or the other one. So that'll get them active as well. So just, make sure you've got your website connected to it. Homebot integrates real easy. Their support folks will help you, and make sure you've got something set up, because if you have nothing going, they're getting nothing, you get no results.
Yeah, I did work on that like 2 days ago, and my particular website doesn't allow search by zip code. So they had to just do it as a general search, but at least it's hooked up to my website so they can pretty much mess around and get lost if they want to. But yeah, I was sending out nothing for a while. Now I'm like, oh yeah, my website's got, because no houses pop up on the map, in Homebot. So I'm like, what they would have to call me in order to get a direct search. So now I have that fixed, I think. So it's just a process.
And then one other suggestion I have, just like how we have our meetings every Wednesday, Homebot does a lot more at the lenders. It was lender based, but they do have masterminds and stuff like that. If you're a member and you're spending your money on anything, I don't care what it is. If you're like I run Lion Desk, Wendy does Follow Up Boss. They have masterminds and stuff like that. They have Facebook groups. Go in, join it. If nothing else, just like the nuggets we get out of our group, you can go look through, read through it, get a question. We piggyback off each other and help each other. You can do the same out of those groups for whatever other systems you're running, for the people that are like really fanatical about it, and it just helps you.
Omar. Yeah, so going back into the video text, there's a company out there called Quick Page, and you get a 2-week trial. So I'm actually on the trial right now. And when you actually send a text, it actually sends a video, kind of like a little GIF of you that you can make. Like say, so-and-so, click here, and then you can write in quickly the name of that person so they can click in. So I've been trying it with some of the agents here, and it looks pretty cool because you can actually do from your cell phone. Like you send a text if you get a number, and they can click in. It's a video text, so it will link straight in. So it's called Quick Page. Look it up. And they do have a free trial right now. It's a newer system, so you can make it straight from your phone as well. You can make that little Quick Page link. So check it out, see if it works out for you guys.
I'd be interested to see how that works differently from a BombBomb send, right? So I think understand what you have available with your BombBomb app and try to send it from that way. See what the difference is before,
correct.
You know, kind of look at the comparisons.
Yeah, I'm just doing a trial right now with the agents and people that I know to see what they think and gonna get the feedback. I actually use my wife as, because no one's gonna criticize me more than my wife, so I use her as, if it works for her, it's gonna work for pretty much anyone.
And don't forget, you have your own phone you can pull out, and yeah, it doesn't have all the GIF and stuff, but we all forget that we can just send through our phone video messages, and they go to Android and iPhone. So I always recommend, you know, when in doubt, just send a video. Just try to keep it short and sweet.
But yeah, I mean, really appreciate the suggestion. And I think that's one of the great things about these masterminds is that there's so many of you creative individuals who are all doing your own thing, but at the same time, combining and doing something collectively as well. So anytime somebody finds that neat third-party tool that might integrate well and work, you know, keep bringing those ideas, you know, to the group. And again, it's the same principle as the custom ad class. If one person's testing, well, you got one person's results. If you've got multiple people trying to do something similar, there might be things that you might have missed, right? So to get that feedback from other agents to use those tools as well, I think that's great. And bring it to a group like this, and yeah, hopefully that can help some people. So thanks so much for that, Omar.
I have a quick question again. So I set up my ads for the 12 themes of whatever, that will automatically send it out to the client. Is that correct? If someone that presses on it?
There's two ways for them to get it. Immediately, as soon as they submit their information, they're going to get an email kind of closing that loop so that they've got you've already lived up to your promise. That's good. But they also go to a splash page where they can download it as well. So there's two ways for them to get it quickly and easily. So no matter what, as soon as they've left their information, you know you've already lived up to your initial promise of getting them that guide. Now it's to figure out why they wanted that guide, right? Get them the home valuation, get that conversation started.
Okay, but so what I'm hearing is they'll fill out the form out with the name, phone number, and they'll get the PDF. Correct?
Correct. Absolutely. Yep.
Beautiful. Then I have to reach out to them and got it. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
So whoever, Adrian, I think you're the one that posted the 12 mistakes while selling your home. Is that the 12 tips they get?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't overthink it. It's just a start, right? Like they got something. Now it's your job to bring more value their way.
No. I know. I'm just saying it's just that the ad says 12 things you should do. And when you look at this, it's all the things you should not do. Everything is don't. And so I'm just wondering if somebody's going to say, hey.
I think the top 5 are don't, and then the middle ones are do's. I think there's a bit of everything. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't go all the way down. Thank you.
And I think the ad says 12 mistakes, right? The ad is the 12 mistakes.
No, it just says 12 tips. If that's the one
It says get our top 12 things to do before you sell list.
Or maybe saw a different variation of it.
Am I on the wrong one?
It'll work. Don't overthink it. Just launch it. It'll work. If it doesn't work,
I did launch it, and I don't care what it says as long as it works.
Exactly.
It'll work because nobody reads.
I love it.
Awesome.
You can also go in, Lisa, you can also go in and edit it. Troy just put it in the chat box a little while ago. He put in the link. So I went and opened it because then you can edit the document and it's a PDF.
That's true. Thank you. Very true.
Awesome.
And on future renditions, there's a good opportunity. We may just make it kind of like what we had originally in the custom ad class before this was templated. We will have the ability down the road, of course, to maybe brand that PDF, change it up a little bit, make it your own, and then add it in there. That's not part of this current setup, but certainly as we perfect this process and we find what's working, we will do just that. We'll perfect it. We'll make it even better, and the ability to add your own branding, maybe change up your own tips, make it a little bit more your own. That'll certainly be something that's coming down the pipeline, sometime down the road.
No, I just wanted to download it because I have sellers already in my funnel and I want to take advantage to send it out to them.
Absolutely. And that one you can certainly take and brand.
Right.
Good stuff. Hey, we didn't start the meeting with shares or wins. So if anybody has some wins or shares, this is the time.
I have an appointment next week for the video. I did the Google Earth video, sent it out. I used everybody up here is Seattle Fanatics. So I went ahead and showed the Seahawk training stadium, and she lives right on the other side of the freeway, a couple minutes. And I had just actually been out there a month before for another house. So I went ahead, and it turns out she's like 80 years old. She lives about like 50 miles north of Seattle. And she's like, well, you know, I don't get down there that often. So her children are putting a key box on the property for me to go walk through and look at it. She's owned it since like 1968 or something like that. But the video, she said she looked and seen the video thing, and I'm laughing because she's played it every day now, and which is pretty cool. But like I said, the motion works, and the video, it grabbed her. So it's like I said, I got an appointment next week. They're putting the key box on, and I'll see her then. But definitely, you know, we say try something different outside the box, or, you know, they say a definition of insanity is continue doing things the same way every time. So for those of you that haven't tried it, Lisa and I looked at it yesterday, and actually she has a good update that I got out of her was when she went to do the screen recording, she had a square instead of a circle. So we were thinking something was wrong. BombBomb's not right. But on the iOS for Mac and Apple, they've changed the recording. But I mean, it's a 3 or 4 minute thing, and we went right through it, you know. And Lisa, did you have any problems with it after that? You said you did videos?
No, I didn't have problems. As a matter of fact, I did 7 videos yesterday for new leads, and I sent them out.
How long did it take once you got it down? How long did it take to make one?
Maybe 2 minutes each. I mean, it's really simple. And I included, you know, the 3 websites that you told me. I haven't included the Homebot, which I'm going to do today, so I'm excited.
Yeah, so people in the group would think it's a 10-hour thing. You pump them out right away, and see what. And I bring this about because there's people in the group that were saying about how, oh, there's other people doing StreetText in the area. They all look the same. Okay, dare to be different. Change it up. Be the new face on the block. Make them click on what you got because nobody else is doing it. It works.
Yeah, I mean, and here's another thing, that What's Your Home Really Worth funnel still works phenomenally well, and you can upload any image you want. And so partly we know the map works. And so if you are thinking, well, the satellite, the light map, the terrain, or perhaps you just go and take a screenshot of a Google Earth different style 3D image and use that and upload that and see if that's a kind of a new take to the map, right? Because for me, Shift Command 4 on my Mac gives me any screenshot that I want. So something that you might want to consider now that you're using Google Earth for your videos is try it into an image as well and upload it.
Well, all of you guys are always saying when you split test, you don't want to split test the exact 3 same exact looking ads. So why not go in there and throw that other one in there and then run the 72 hours? I noticed I've been like now 72 hours instead of 24 to look at what I got. But definitely change up what you're doing. This is the time of year. You know, we have times of year we surge. This is it. School's getting out here in the States in a couple of weeks. And if you don't already start running your stuff, you're behind. So definitely I say it does work. Give it a shot. And I'm here. If you need something, reach out to me. I respond. I don't have a problem helping you set your stuff up. You know, we're all in it to win it together. You guys share stuff with me and I take great ideas out of here. So I have no problem sharing mine with y'all.
And the key with the Google Earth screen recording video is you got to practice a little bit to get it to where that GIF goes from the out view to your home, because that's what's going to draw their attention. So, you know, remember, automations are good, videos and automations are good, but I've been telling everybody, have that same automated video canned in your personal email and really get in the habit of resending it, because you need to attach tracking to everything you get, not allow automations to do. Automations go out half the time, give or take, and then they don't really tell you much about that other than whether that email was opened and if they clicked on anything within that ad, which could have been things you don't want them to click on. So take destiny of that email communication in your own hands and can everything you have in your automations, especially with video, resend it, slightly change it up, maybe just to ask a simple question. Did you get it? Now, hey, were you able to get this email? Just to them, because we always look for the long answer, but why not just look for a yes or no? Because if you can get a binary yes or no response, now you can actually take that conversation deeper. You don't want nothing. You need something. Something begins everything.
So I did start running ads this past week, and then I've got 36 actually individuals. What I did recently on Monday, yesterday. Yeah, it was just yesterday. I got a response today. What I did is that a Loom kind of walkthrough on the CMA, and to verify, hey, is this correct? Are these things right? This seems right to you? And the individual actually responded to that email with the Loom and say, oh, I updated this, this, and this. So I'm going to try to see if I can do that with BombBomb with Loom, because you can create that little 5-minute video with sharing the screen. So that seemed to work for me. It's the first time I tried. So I'm going to do a couple more, see if that actually works out. But yeah, I got an appointment for a listing. So.
Yeah, for anybody who isn't doing something like that already, whether you're using Vimeo, Loom, BombBomb, understand the power of a screen record CMA is that you could have taken all that same information and typed it up, which would have taken you longer, and have the individual read through, okay, well, this is what this person assumes of my property, right? But it doesn't look like you've done any work. You've typed up something that they have to do the work by reading it and seeing if you're right. Whereas when you present all that same information in video, it's like, oh, Omar's actually doing this work for me. A real person is presenting this information. He's taken the time to do this for me. I feel that the likelihood of getting that response is considerably better, and the responses themselves should be better, because again, people are getting that personal connection before they've ever met you. And I think that's incredibly powerful. So for anybody who isn't doing that already, regardless of what services you have at your disposal, you're missing a big step if you're not doing a screen record CMA. And that's not for everybody, right? You're not going to do that for every single lead that comes in. Absolutely not. But the ones who you filtered that respond back to you, or as you're going through your contact lists, you guys all know those certain addresses that you get when you're like, yes, I can't wait to get this one. Well, blow them away. Do something a little bit special for you.
Yeah,
that is correct. The other thing I started doing too is for all those that I have addresses that are within certain area within the 15-mile radius out here where I'm at, I'll take it and on my errands, I'll just drop off a door hanger actually on those properties, and I'm just waiting to see what kind of response I get from that. Just because sometimes I think people just put the address because they don't want to communicate with anyone. But I think it will help to say, hey, this is that same person. And I just had the door hanger. You reached out on my Facebook ad, and I'm available to talk if you need. So it's a quick little introduction door hanger thing. So I think door hangers have gone away, but I think there's a possibility right now with the market the way it is. It's probably going to help because you're not shoving yourself into them, but you're, hey, I'm here. Reach out. So hopefully that works out. I'll keep up posted on that and see how it goes.
Make it easy on yourself. Learn your systems. I mean, BombBomb for me it's so easy when I use it from Google Chrome. I use Gmail. Everything is so much easier for me from that angle. So if you learn how to use the screen recording simply by pressing a button, and then get to also really truly understand the things that you send out over and over again. Those are going to be called your snippets, and snippets are awesome, and you can start using snippets for birthday messages as well. I know Rich, if you're still here, he sent me a birthday message the other day that he playing the guitar, wishing happy birthday. And now he can send that out every single day. It's pre-canned. He just drops his little Chrome extension, grabs the copy link, and just shares it in that person's messenger. So you want to learn how to use these systems. Don't just go buy something without getting trained. That's what Leon was saying, is like, if you're going to invest in anything, if you're going to spend money in anything, do some education behind it, or you're never going to learn how to use it properly. And the same goes for StreetText. If you're here with StreetText, you're at these masterminds because you want to become an expert. You don't want to just invest in something and forget it.
Yeah, I've been sending that same video out, Marcus, for the last week and getting killer responses. And the only thing real estate about it is I got my Rodeo shirt on, you know. Everybody knows I'm a realtor. But every time I get
Hey, put that in the group. I just want people to see it. So awesome. So
I don't know how I would do it here. I mean, I could do it on Facebook, I guess.
yeah, you just share it in the group on the insider group, and people will be able to understand that's a canned message that you just send out to people, and they think it's for them. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, it restarted conversations that I haven't had with people in a while, you know.
Awesome. All right, we'll leave it at that. It's 15 past the hour. Thanks for coming, guys. Maybe think about the one takeaway, the one thing you're going to implement from this mastermind, the one thing you're going to do with this, with all this great information. Just one. Share it in the group. Give us a takeaway. And I hope everybody goes out and tests that new ad. Just why not? It's an easy split test to create.
Thank you, guys. Great info today.
Thank you all. Appreciate you all.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody have an awesome week. Follow up, follow up, follow up.